Well, I'll have it. All back about it. You got it? Y'all done? You ready? Yeah, that's a good idea.
Just give us the top, whatever.
Oh, are you making, because already you can't have this.
Yeah, right.
But let me talk about it a little bit. Again, back in session, reconvene. Well, how do you folks did? All right, I think there's no reason we can't have a copy of this. And you ought to be able to look at it. The low score wins, right? Albert, could pronounce his name when I was talking about it. Thank you. Number one.
Scottish was number one.
Yes, ma'am. And he low scored 24 points. The next is Robert Francis, who I know has done the recent work on, and he's 25. He's a gentleman from Oregon. Next is also a person I know, and that's Calvin Peck. He's 32.
Great first name, by the way.
Calvin Peck. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
good name, right?
I move weak.
And then 4 is Robin Hayes from Oviedo. 5 is Steve Garman.
How many points did?
Oh, I'm sorry. Robin has 37.
Okay.
Steve Garman, who was, we talked about a little bit earlier, Pensacola and Gulf Shores, is 38. Number 6 is David Niemeyer from Tinley Park, Illinois. He has 40. And I won't comment. I need to talk to him if we get to that. He's making a lot of money, and I need to make sure that he had a little conversation about that. I need to make sure that we're in reality. He's at 178,000.
Is the standard of living there so high?
No, it's way higher here, and the cost of living is higher there. But Chicago, western suburbs of Chicago are pay pretty high salaries. And it's probably because all the employees are pretty heavily unionized. Probably. I don't know what the rumor is.
Nice high property taxes too.
Yes, they have high property taxes and
Should visit Milton.
and they have state income tax and the state's bank. So.
And Chicago.
It's far enough away so you can't see the skyline. Next, number 7 at 44 points is Tim Bolin from Ohio. Number 8 is John Rothier from South Carolina. No, I'm sorry. Near South Carolina. He lives in Statesboro. He works for a county in Georgia. Number 9 is George Rothier from Petoskey, Michigan, at 54 points. Number 10 is Mark Putney, 59 points. And number 11 is Taylor Brown, 61 points. So, we're looking at the top 5. It would be Alan Sonovich. Help me with that again. You said
Stonich.
You said it right, and I can't see the
Or Stonich. I think
I
Stonich.
think that's the way you pronounce it, but I seem to have a problem. Number 2 is Robert Francis. Number 3 is Calvin Peck. Number 4 is Robin Hayes. Number 5 is Steve Garman. And for the purpose of doing background work, I would suggest we go with 6, and they would be David Niemeyer.
That sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me.
I think it's a good.
And my suggestion, I think you brought up, Mayor, Council, you brought up, I believe time is a little bit of the essence here to not waste time. I shouldn't say waste, that's a poor choice of words, but if we can do it sooner than later, that would be better, I think, for the entire city. And so you've suggested maybe doing due diligence for these by waiting to do background background checks for the top, or not background
No,
checks,
site-
on-site visits for the top 3 or so.
Whatever, once you interview them and know them, you'll know whether or not you
Yeah.
like them and whether or not you want.
So I'd
And then-
suggest we do the interviewing, subject to your review with Niemeyer, for the top 6.
The, city manager interviews are best conducted towards the end of a week. And even Saturdays, which is way, I think maybe we did.
We did that, we did,
The reason for that, from their perspective, is that they're like your council, councils meet at the first part of the week typically. Hard enough to be out of town to be, for a job interview, it's even harder to be out of town for a job interview and miss a council meeting. Lots of times, folks best not come home when they do that, so, and hear everything, of course, in public, so there's no way to protect their, anonymity, if you will.
can we do that in one day? I think we can, Chad.
We've done it before, didn't we do 5 or 6?
Yeah, we did it all in one day.
Around.
We had a reception the night before
Yep.
the place, and then the
That
next
sounds
morning
good.
we interviewed. You know, the reception where everyone got
Next
there.
Friday and Saturday.
Oh, we wouldn't do that, so that's Friday.
Not this coming one, but
Till Tuesday.
other than that, I like holdings.
The following weekend, I've got to be in Colorado with another client, but the 29th and 30th, I'm available. Is that me? Sorry, Ken.
That sounds good. The only thing that will get in the way, and I'll cancel it from my standpoint, is Nick is in back-to-school backpack distribution on Saturday, but I don't need to, I would be there if I could easily skip that.
It's gonna be on the
One of those days.
It depends on what process you want to use. If you, what you did before was exactly right. It was an evening reception or meet and greet on Friday evening and then interviews on Saturday.
Yeah, we had it in the community building.
All right. So 29th and 30th is your suggestion, right?
That, I thought that meet and greet went very well. But it's up to you as to whether you want.
I think that's an important
I
part
think it is too, I think we should do
of the
that again.
process.
You get to see him socially, you know.
Yes. That way the citizens can come,
Yeah.
I thought it was a good idea.
Yes, they have a stick in this.
It may not matter, but you have a budget meeting in 28, so that's 3 days. And maybe that doesn't matter.
Well, the 29th will just be the evening.
Yeah.
When, how did that happen? You folks got that way that worked out.
No, you did the whole thing, Mr. Smith.
I
You
did
don't
not.
remember?
It wouldn't have gone nearly as well as it did if I
No,
can, I'll
you
tell you
didn't.
that right now.
So we're looking good then, 29, 30th, and I'm there any objections on that, so let's,
I'm an early bird on the Saturday.
yeah, let's do
Well, we'd have staff put together, staff can put together.
I'm just also thinking people out of town, if they're coming in, that if they finish up on Saturday at 1 o'clock, then they can get out of town, you know.
We're gonna blast dinner.
I don't know whether we had spouses here for that reception.
We have everybody.
We only had 2 candidates, and I think the spouses were here. There were only 2.
The purpose for the spouse is not to evaluate the spouse so much as it is to position the candidate so that the person you select will be ready to say yes or no if you offer. That would be my advice to you.
I'm assuming the spouse is seeing outdoor just as important as the candidate. You know what I mean?
critical to invite them, whether they opt to come, it's a family decision, not you. I think it's important. They're choosing us just as much as we're choosing them.
Thank you. Took the words right out of my mouth. That's true, and obviously it makes a big difference. This town shows so well, I can't imagine anybody not wanting to see it.
We need a commercial take a motion for 29th, so, because that'll be, we're gonna have the council together, so it's gonna be, I guess, kind of a meeting, I guess, right? all around the council together.
We'll have to notice
And,
that.
It's just a meeting room. It's not a meeting.
I know, but we're all there, so I don't know if it's, we should notice it.
I'm caution on the side of,
Yeah, we can notice the 29th and whatever the time is on that, and then the third is for all day, and we'll just notice that. And so we'll just get a, ask for motion and a second for that.
I should hate the clock. Let's give
let me caution, I'm sorry. 8 o'clock, begin at 8?
Well, that's my
Well,
suggestion.
that, as far as I'm concerned, that's fine. Let me just,
Here, here.
one point that needs to,
They can get up.
If, there's enough time here, I don't think we're gonna have any problem with, candidate notice, but, one of the things we'll do tomorrow is get these, 6 folks, to complete the authorization form for the background work, and we can tell them that those are the dates. If none of them can make it, I'll have to tell you that, but I don't guess.
So we had a motion second, all in favor?
Well, there's,
I'm sorry.
what happens at the end of the Saturday? And do we, what's the next stage after that?
You'll discuss it at the end of your meeting, your interview has to be public. Let me, did we do, individual one-on-one interviews?
Yes,
we did.
Forgive me for not asking that earlier, but the Saturday, event ought to be a combination of those individual interviews and public interview with the council and each candidate. And the reason, obviously, for the individual interviews is that in Florida, you can't, there may be things you want to discuss with candidates that they will not want to discuss publicly. As an example, why they might elect a job. They'll tell you why, but they will not want to say anything negative about a current employer or a previous employer. So the level of candor is much,
Should we do that on the Friday?
You can do that on Friday,
We should
too.
do the individual interviews on Friday, have the reception, and then Saturday morning interview to the hire.
and then they can then
Yeah.
discuss it. Is that what it is? That's a great.
Good
Yeah.
idea.
So 6.
We just confirmed this here, we're gonna be doing all 6 then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then reception will be for all
Reception.
6. All
We usually
6,
will put you
or whoever you're gonna have. Because you might have somebody.
You just get it out of the way, do the 6, the individual on Friday, reception at night, next day, interview them in front of all council and hire.
What we would do is have a round robin, and each of you folks would be assigned an office, and we would bring the candidates to you. The last time you,
That worked well last time.
we did.
Yes, that's the way,
Gwen can sit on the, and you, working with you, Mr. President.
I'll just take the day off.
I like that.
Okay, so we start the motion. So it's gonna be an all day then on Friday and Saturday then. Okay. Fine with me?
And I'll second it.
So everything, so we have motion second and all in favor? Passes, we're done there. Anything else, Mr. Sladen?
No, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you.
You had mentioned earlier that if you still have some candidates, possibly that might be sending something in. If one is really needs to be put into the mix, then just, I guess, let us know somehow, and let us, I back know.
If somebody steps off cloud in the heavens, I will let you know. There are some, I do think we got a resume from somebody who might have been in a group, had they applied earlier. And then I have to look at it, it came today. But the reality is we need to stop this and move forward. That person does not stop being a candidate because we're moving this forward. If he is as good as he might be, he's always there.
If somebody can step off the cloud, and we'll just forget the other 6 and hire that one. So, yeah.
We need it. So at any rate, I understand what you're saying, but, and I'll keep you informed about that.
But just for the record, I think everybody here, if Mr. Lermack that I know decided if he wanted to stay, I think that you would have total council support if you wanted to stay. So I just want to make one record this thing and appreciate that. And, thank you. Okay.
Good council, good mayor council. They work very hard.
Okay, so you got this out. You're good to go.
I'm good to go, except I need a copy of this.
Okay. And so we're good to go. before I get a motion.
Motion to
And we're
adjourn.
gonna get copies of
I'll
that.
second.
Thank you, everybody. Good job.
For the next day or